Council meeting of March 16th, 2021 is called to order. And how about we have Megan do the honors tonight?
Sounds good. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Megan. It was actually going to be your turn last week, but
Apologies.
so I'm not picking on you. It was just your, okay.
Happy to do it.
All right. So Donna, will you do a roll call, please?
Yes, I will. Councilmember Schmidt. I can see you, but you're
Here.
there. You are. Councilmember Bode,
Here.
Councilmember Feast,
Here.
Mayor Dorsey,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Peterson,
Here.
Councilmember Inesco,
Here.
and Councilmember McDowell.
Present.
All right. Thank you, Donna.
You're welcome.
Does council have any late changes to the agenda? If not, at this time, I would like to remind members of the public that they can make comments during the public comment period, as well as on any items listed on the business agenda or the action agenda. When making a public comment, you will need to raise your hand electronically on the Zoom app. State your full name and whether you reside within the city limits, within Mason County, or elsewhere. Option number one, join the Zoom meeting by clicking on the link that is displayed on the city's webpage. The link is listed on the agendas and minutes page under the tab that says more. Option two, email city manager Jeff Knighton. Option three, call Jeff's office phone. Both the email address and the phone number are displayed on the screen of Mason Web TV streaming video. Okay, let's go to council reports. Anyone have council members have a board report to share?
I do, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Megan, thank you.
So the Mason County Opioid Stakeholders Group met this last week, and Representative Kilmer visited, talked about the crisis care initiatives and the mental health care investments that the feds had last year. It was around $6 billion. They're looking at about $3.8 billion going forward in this year, as well as an additional $3 billion for the American Rescue Plan for organization that we call SAMSHA, which is the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. One of the forum questions from our community was, how can we help? And what he said was, no better time to get our coalitions together and be ready to put in asks for local support for federal dollars on these things. So just putting that out there to the community. And then YMCA came in and did a great presentation, just awareness to the group that they're open and the types of programs that are available. And then also a highlight on the Mason County Law Enforcement Crisis Navigation Program. I need to learn a lot more about that, Mr. Mayor, but I'd love to work with our city manager and Chief Beeson to figure out how we can learn more about that and what we could support that effort to, not only in the county, but here in the city as well. Because I think that we probably have some great opportunities to maybe even utilize some of the resources they have in that crisis prevention team. And then that's about it. Does anybody have any questions?
Nope.
That's all.
Anyone else? I'll share a little thing. I don't know if everybody has heard yet or not, but on the Mason Transit Authority Board, Danette Brannon has moved on. And we selected Mike Ringenberger think I got that right, Ringenberger, to fill in as an interim for her. So I just wanted to share that. Okay, so we'll move on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as published?
I move to accept the consent agenda as published.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we'll move on to presentations. Tonight, we have a presentation from Administrative Services Director, Michelle Sutherland.
Good evening. Jeff approached me in early 2019 and let me know of an opportunity that he was aware of through the Northwest Women's Leadership Academy and encouraged me to apply for that opportunity. After completing the essay and the presentation video, I was chosen to be a part of its cohort number 2 from over 60 applicants. And it's been a real honor to participate in that program with so many wonderful women networking all over, working in local government all over the state of Washington. So I'd really like to thank City Manager Knighton for his guidance and knowledge for any employee within the city. That mentoring, empowering, and succession planning are really crucial aspects in his position. Like I said, not just for me, but for all city employees. And it's really developed a wonderful network for me of people all over the state and local government to bounce things off of, see what other entities are doing, come up with best practices, things of that sort. So I do have a PowerPoint and then a video presentation for you. So just bear with me while I share my screen here. And we'll start that. So the mission of the Northwest Leadership Academy, let me move this over, is to promote women into leadership roles in local government, especially as city managers or city administrators. The International City County Management Association convened a task force on women in the profession in 2012 to evaluate whether the number of women ascending to the top executive positions had increased since 1976, when the first task force on women in the profession had convened. So what ICMA discovered that in 2014, that approximately 14.4% of chief administrative officers were women. In 2017, Julie Underwood proposed this academy as a concept at the Washington City Management Association Summer Conference. Julie asked if anyone was interested in joining her and received an enthusiastic yes from many, many parties. Ready and willing volunteers from across the state signed on to be part of the move to action. Since that launch, the Northwest Women's Leadership Academy team lifted the concept from paper to reality, launching its first cohort of 31 women in September of 2017. They graduated in 2019. And in March of 2021, after a pandemic, it's a pause and pivot to the virtual reality that we are in right now. We graduated the second cohort of 30 members on March 5th. So on the website, it says this means there are 61 ambitious, talented, and capable graduates ready for their next career opportunity, and we're not done yet. Cohort number 3 recruitment will begin in May. So again, the importance of mentoring and networking. If you know of any women in local government, you can either refer them to myself or to the website, Northwest Women's Leadership Academy, because we definitely like to recruit new members to be a part of the next cohort, and just how important professional networking is, especially in local government. While the goal is to see more women advance to top-level leadership positions, we also seek to strengthen organizations overall by achieving more gender-balanced management teams. So the objectives of the Academy were competency, providing opportunities for women from diverse backgrounds and experiences to obtain core skills necessary to move into local government leadership roles, developing confidence, providing opportunities to enhance our skills and competencies, and again, build that level of confidence in our positions, and develop a professional network, which is really, I'm finding to be very invaluable, providing opportunities to expand professional connections and build that network. I've got a list here of the cohort 2 graduates that you can look through when you get a chance. I'm listed on the second page here. So I was very, very happy to be a part of this and represent the city of Shelton amongst all these other very talented women from all over the state. The curriculum, getting to know yourself, strategic leadership, finance, budget, and community engagement, leadership, communication, and confidence, barrier busting, and the last session, we have many of the participants were interested in moving on in local government. Just to let you know, I am very happy at the city of Shelton. So although session 6 was getting the job, I already have the job, so thank you. And I will show you a video and just introduce you to the cohort of wonderful ladies that I was able to network with throughout this last year and a half. So I'm going to go ahead and share that screen with you here. And I'll introduce you to the rest of my cohort. And hopefully you can hear that.
No sound.
Yeah, we don't have any sound there, Michelle.
No sound? Okay, let me go back here. And let me try the share one more time. We'll stop that and share once more. Navigating that here. Bring that back up.
Works perfectly every time Aaron B. Miller.
It does. It just worked perfectly when I was testing it with my daughter earlier. Like, I was wondering why I wanted to Zoom with her. I'm like, I needed to help me out here for a moment.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Share that.
There we go.
There we go.
Hi, my name is Allison Van Gorp, and I'm the Deputy Director for Community Planning and Development with the City of Mercer Island.
Hi, I'm Brianna Hardy from the City of Richland.
Hello, my name is Vicki Carlson, and I'm the Finance Director for the City of Tukwila.
Hi, I'm Deborah Needham. I'm the Emergency Management Director for the City of Renton.
Hi, I'm Minnie Dhaliwal, Deputy Director for the City of Tukwila.
Hi, my name is Allison Griffith. I serve as the Assistant Director for the Neighborhood and Community Services Department here at the City of Tacoma.
Hello, my name is Joantha Guthrie. I'm the Assistant Public Works Director for Island County.
Hi, my name is Chelsea Levy. I'm the South Corridor Development Director at Sound Transit.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Francis, and I'm the Economic Development Supervisor for the City of Bonnie Lake.
Hi, my name is Christina Arcidi. I'm a Management Analyst at the City of Shoreline.
Hi, I'm Gabe Boali, Health Promotion Coordinator with the Tacoma Pierce County Health Department.
Hi, my name is Jen Camp. I'm the Operations and Maintenance Director for the City of Liberty Lake.
Hi, my name is Laura Benjamin. I'm a Senior Planner with the Puget Sound Regional Council.
Hi, my name is Lynn Swagstra, and I'm the Director of Parks and Community Services for the City of Kirkland, Washington.
Hi, my name is Michelle Sutherland. I'm the Administrative Services Director for the City of Shelton.
Hi, my name is Nicole Floyd. I'm a Principal Planner for the City of Olympia.
Hi, my name is Silvana Niehauser, and I'm the Parks Operations and Maintenance Manager for the City of Olympia.
Hi, my name is Christy Palmer, and I'm the Assistant City Attorney with the City of Sumner.
Hi, my name is Amanda Askren. I'm the Property and Technical Services Manager for the City of Renton.
Hello, my name is Belinda Morrison Brantley. I am the Assistant Accountant for King County Solid Waste.
Hi, my name is Kara Haley, and I'm the City Engineer for the City of Pullman.
Hi, I'm Courtney Brunel, Planning Manager at the City of Lakewood.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Ferrer Santa Ynez, Finance Director for the City of Normandy Park.
Hi, my name is Jen Forsberg, and I'm the Finance Director for the City of Washington.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Coiney. I'm an Environmental Compliance Coordinator for the King County Solid Waste Division.
Hi, my name is Lisa Brulette, and I'm the Administrative Lieutenant for the City of Kirkland Police Department.
Hello, I'm Bryn Grimley.
Kelly Dane and Division Director Pat McLaughlin.
Jason Kittner.
It's Bob Harrison, and now Ed Van Valey.
John Caulfield, the City Manager for the City of Lakewood.
Cindy Rentz, the city's first female city manager.
It's Karen Kitsis.
John Vodopich.
Debbie Terry.
Nora Gerloff.
Katie Allen.
It's Tori Brazitas.
Margot Gillespie.
Paul Ingram.
Kurt Triplett, City Manager.
Tim Smith.
Steve Hall, Jay Burney, and Paul Simmons.
Tori Brazitas.
Jennifer Henney, and my current sponsor is Ed Van Bailey.
John Caulfield and Dave Buer.
City Manager Jeff Knighton.
The City Manager Mark Hoppin.
It's David Scott.
Pat McLaughlin.
Kirkland City Manager Kurt Triplett.
So that's all I have for you today. Again, I would really like to thank City Manager Knighton. I think the opportunity to be part of this academy really was a benefit to the city of Shelton, just with the knowledge, the skills, and most importantly, the network that you develop from attending something like this. So thank you. And got my graduation plaque right here that I will hang in my office. You'd ever like to take a look at it sometime. And again, the mentoring, so critical in local government. And if you know of any other women that would be interested in being part of the Northwest Leadership Academy, please, like I said, either refer them to me or you can look them up on the website. So thank you very much.
Anyone have any comments for Michelle?
Congratulations.
Good job.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great job.
And I just like to say it's, one, it's succession planning, but two, it's investing in the people that work with us and making sure that the opportunities exist for everybody here if they choose to take advantage of them, and how important that we feel it is to engage in professional development and continue to grow and find new challenges. So.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that Michelle will be ready for her next step someday.
Not yet.
But it won't be for at least 5 years. I know it. I think I could get the whole council to agree with that.
And you would get me to agree to that as well. So.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, my next step is starting my master's here in May in public administration. So I've got that road to do yet. So thank you.
Very good. Thank you. All right. Donna, do we have anyone interested in making a public comment, a general public comment?
Let me take a look here, Mr. Mayor. No, sir, we do not have anyone interested right now.
All right, so we'll move on. The first item on the business agenda is a resolution to amend the contract for well number 1's rehab design. Public Works Director Jay Harris has more information for us. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor. City Council, Jay Harris, your Public Works Director. Tonight, I have a resolution before you to do a updated contract with Grant Osborne. It will be for about $102,500. And well 1 was built in 1948, and we're experiencing a little bit of sand coming out of the well and a few minor water quality issues. The plan is for Grant Osborne to replace a line that goes from well 1 down to the high school tank. It's about 4,700 feet. So it's getting close to a mile of pipeline. A lot of it is a 24-inch gravity pipeline right now. And we're going to slip line a poly line through, or high density polyethylene line, a 12-inch through the 24-inch line. So this resolution is for them to design the project, come up with the construction plans, the specifications, bid package, and they should be done with that about August, we're thinking. We're probably going to put it to bid sometime in the fall and start construction first thing next year. In next year's budget, we're planning about $900,000 to pay for the construction of the pipeline project. So we're looking forward to that. Also, this has the potential of being a shovel-ready project because we are moving along. We got a good preliminary design done. And if there's some stimulus money, Jeff and the group were all talking about that available. This might be one of them that might be eligible for that type of funding anyways. That's my presentation, and I'm open to any questions.
Jay?
Yes.
Me. Yeah. You talked about shovel-ready projects. How many shovel-ready projects do we have right now?
So shovel-ready means that you're probably at over 65% design on your plans, 90%. We don't have a lot of them laying there. We got most of our projects done, completed last year. We have our chip seal projects that we held off on. Those are 100% designs, so those can go out. But the goal is to have this one, the water meter AMI project, and a couple other smaller projects put together by this summer. So we hope to get them up to 65% plans. So some of it is what they determine as shovel ready. Also, typically if you have any environmental issues or if you have right-of-way acquisitions or property acquisitions, those aren't shovel ready. But if you show that you're well into the design of the project, typically we've been able to do some of those. So the goal is to get some ready. We got Grant Osborne working on that. We have on the waterline one. We have parametrics that should be starting on the laydown yard project. That's the maintenance yard project up on the hill. You should be seeing a contract coming up for that hopefully in the next month. So the goal is to try to get a bunch of plans put together. We don't have a lot of them right now to date, though.
Is the Civic Center parking lot a shovel-ready project?
It's in design right now also. We're working on some infiltration testing on that project. One of our goals is to try not to send any water down the conveyance piping to Goldsboro Creek. So we're in design of the stormwater facility right now for that.
Okay.
The actual parking lot design, though, is near completion. We're working on the stormwater part of the project. So it probably would be considered a shovel-ready project in the next month.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you, Jay. Is there any public comment, Donna?
No, there isn't, Mr. Mayor, but I think Councilmember Schmidt had raised his hand electronically.
Okay, I'm sorry, Joe, but.
No worries. No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, I can get to you in just a minute.
No worries.
Do we have a motion?
I move that resolution number 1189-0221 be forwarded to the action agenda of the April 6th City Council meeting for further consideration.
And do we have a second? Okay, we have a second. Was that Joe?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, now I'd like to invite council members for questions and comment. Okay, Joe, you're up.
Hey, thanks. Just a budget question, Jeff or Jay. It looks like we had 265,000 set aside for design in 21. So it looks like we're going to come in under, which is great. And just wanted to say thanks for that. But I'm also curious if because the water meter AMI project is also a pretty good project as well. And I know there's money at that as for this coming year on the capital improvement plan. But is it possible that the underrun in design we could roll into that project, or to accelerate any of that? I'd be interested in the council's opinion as well on some of that. I'm just curious if we're locked into some of that funding.
So what we're going to do is tomorrow, we actually have it as a bullet point on our agenda for the leadership team at the city to talk about how to prioritize not only the federal dollars that were announced earlier this week, but also any dollars that we've been able to come in under budget on specific projects for, to see where we can get the most bang for the buck and we can leverage those dollars to get projects completed. We'll do a couple things, help put people back to work as quickly as possible, and plan for the future and make sure that we complete those projects that will work for the folks here now and the folks that are going to be here in the future.
Great. Yeah. Thanks again. 2 huge projects for the water department and those who subscribe to our delicious water service.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to forward resolution number 1189-0221 to the action agenda on April 6th City Council meeting for further consideration. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Our next item is the NEPA certification for the Veterans Village. Senior Planner Jason Doth.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor, council members. As a little background, you may recall in 2019, Quixote Communities was awarded $3 million in the Washington capital budget to construct a 30-unit tiny home village, is what we're calling it, for homeless veterans, primarily geared towards homeless veterans in our community. The city entered into a lease agreement for them to lease about 3 acres of land up on North 13th Street, roughly across from Olympic College or across from Christmas Village. They went through permitting in late 2019 through the city. They received a planned unit development permit, site plan review. We did SEPA review, State Environmental Policy Act review at that time. Fast forward to this past summer, and we were contacted by Quixote Communities for our thoughts on them performing a NEPA, National Environmental Policy Act review with us so that they could avail themselves to some federal funding that are essentially, as I understand it, vouchers to help pay rent for some of the future tenants. This would help them fund the project, maintain it. It would certainly help the future residents, help offset some of the rent that they're responsible to pay for this facility. So to that end, I mean, to cut to the chase, what you have before you is a completed environmental assessment. It resulted in what's called a FONSI, a finding of no significant impact. And, you know, I really have to thank Quixote Communities because their staff did a lot of the heavy lifting on this. These are very time consuming. They're very procedurally detailed. You do a lot of formal consultation with local tribes, with state agencies, with federal agencies, with the Department of Historic Resources. And to backtrack a little bit, I was concerned at a staff level that they might not get it done in as timely a fashion as they would hope if we were doing it, because you know you're essentially looking at planning staff here for the city. And with all the other work on our plate, I was more than happy to do it, but I did express some concern about the timeline for it. So they stepped up to the plate, had their staff do a lot of the heavy lifting. But being the local agency that the project is in, we are considered the responsible agency. Normally, you wouldn't even see an environmental review of this sort at the council level, but we are required to sign, which I'm more than willing to as the staff member. But we also need, NEPA rules require the highest elected official also sign. And at a staff level, I've reviewed it. I worked hand in hand with Kyoto Community staff in developing the documentation and developing the letters that went out to agencies to describe the project. And I agree with the findings, frankly. And I'm prepared to sign. What I'm asking is that the council put this on their next meeting agenda to authorize the mayor to sign as well.
We have public comment on this, Donna?
No, we don't, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Do we have a motion to move this forward?
I move that we forward this item to the action agenda for the council meeting on April 6th for further consideration.
All right.
Second.
We have a second. Okay, thank you. Was that Deidre? All right. Okay. So, any council members have any questions on this?
I do.
Joe's hand
Joe
up.
was first.
Joe and Megan. Okay, Joe.
Go ahead, Megan.
Okay, Megan.
More of a comment, more of a note of the great work that was done on the NEPA project here. Thank you, Jason. For the public, you know, on page 65 of our packet, there's a really great map of what we see for our NEPA assist in Shelton. And what's wonderful is it shows like all of our housing development area that's zoned in that space. So it gives us a good picture of like what we have in as far as like environmental maybe issues in the area. And then if you go down in the packet, you know, there's more detailed information about what's not found in that space. And so as we continue as a community to talk about development in that area, I think that this is a really great document for reference. And so that's all that I wanted to bring up, Mr. Mayor, that the really great work and the research in this space to support our veterans and our homeless folks and what it means for our workers and workforce housing, market rate housing in that area as well, and the development that we can see as a community.
Okay, Joe.
Thank you very much. Yeah, good, again, good work, and glad to see that we got a Fonzie, or excuse me, Kyoto Community's got a Fonzie for that, you know, to have access to the federal voucher program or whatever federal stream that they need to get access to, as we understand some of the challenges that they're facing with just getting local operational funds. So we're happy to see that. The other thing I would just want for clarification, this property is in fact on the Shelton Creek watershed, correct?
Correct. Yes.
And it passed a NEPA with no significant impact.
Correct. Yeah.
All right.
Well,
thank you very much.
Their project is going to infiltrate everything on site. They worked with the Mason Conservation District to incorporate full what's considered low impact development technology. So they're using pervious pavement on all their hardscapes. Their roof water is going to be tight lined into dry wells. They're actually a neat thing about this proposal. So you know, environmental nerds such as myself, I'm interested to see this part of it. They're utilizing as far as I'm concerned, a very not very often used best management practice in the Department of Ecology Stormwater Manual, which allows for you to come in and augment the soils on site. So basically, as an added measure, I forget what the BMP is, what actual number it is, but you actually come in and amend the soils on site to make them more conducive to absorbing rainwater. And I mean, I think that's pretty neat. It's something I learned about several years ago. I was hot on it for many years, but most people don't want to put in the engineering effort it takes to, you know, show the changes you need to do at a site, but they did, the Conservation District. So, you know, kudos to the Conservation District for being here, for helping out our applicants and doing projects like that. It'll be neat to see. I'm interested to see the dirt.
All right.
I wish I was as excited as you were to see the dirt.
I know, right?
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, Kathy.
I just want to say, Jason, that I'm excited about the future of our stormwater and the rain gardens and all those pervious, pavements and all that exciting stuff that's gonna hopefully save the city and the citizens a lot of money in the future. And it's aesthetically appealing, I think, to do what we're doing. So anyway, high five to you, Jason, and everybody else involved.
Appreciate it. They did all the work.
Yeah.
I'm but a
Well,
reviewer.
yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Kathy.
Yep.
We have a motion and a second to forward this item to the action agenda for the council meeting on April 6th for further consideration. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Our last business item is a resolution to update the fee schedule. Finance Director Aaron B. Miller has more.
Mr. Mayor, we do have another item there for the special use permit acceptance. It's item number 3.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did miss one. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Another item for Jason.
That's right.
Resolution to accept a special use permit.
I'll take that as a hint to make it quicker. That's what I see that as. This is actually a really exciting proposal you may have heard about. I mean, so far, I think everybody in the area is aware of the massive improvements that have gone on at all of our schools, especially Shelton High. In recent years, since the passing of the bond, they've done an addition to the high school, added an auxiliary gymnasium, updated all of their sports fields, including the stadium, which looks great. They're using it as we speak. So this proposal is, my only reservation about it is they're doing this after all my children have graduated from Shelton High. I mean, honestly, and I say it kind of as a joke, but I honestly mean that. So Shelton High they get a lot of funding from I don't know what the official term is, but they're feeder districts, Pioneer School District, Hood Canal, and South Side. They all feed into the Shelton School District system. So there's funding associated with that. And what the school district is going to use a bulk of that funding for is to put in a new, essentially vocational facility. They're calling it the MET Academy. MET stands for Manufacturing, Engineering, and Technology. And they applied for land use permitting through the city. This would be a facility that basically acts as an alternative to going to college. You have kids that go to high school that want to take the college track. They're taking college prep courses. This is a really interesting facility in that they would offer all kinds of vocational skills, from woodworking to electrician apprenticeships to building to mechanical issues to utilizing CAD systems, you name it. I mean, these are things that they've worked with the local community on, including the port. And it would essentially create a situation where hopefully a lot of our students, when they graduate, they've got some marketable skills. They can enter right into maybe some apprenticeships. I mean, the thing I keep keying in on is the electrical part of it. They would presumably, once this thing's fully up and running, and I'll get to the phases of it a little later, they would be able to come out of school and enter into an apprenticeship directly out of high school, which would be amazing for our local students. They applied for land use permitting, which is why it's here before you today. Shelton High School is located in Zone 6 of the airport overlay zones, which necessitates a special use permit. And special use permits in the Shelton Municipal Code require a public hearing before the hearings examiner. And our hearings examiner has recommended approval. You have that recommendation attached to my brief. But it also requires that the city council authorize or bless that approval. So essentially what you're looking at here is a phased facility that would be constructed in the approximate location of where the current teachers and staff parking lot is, if you know where that is, kind of by the music building up on Shelton Springs Road. These would all be single-story buildings built in, I'm looking over here because I'm looking at the site plan, built in about 4 phases. It would total about 15,000 square feet of additional space. And the unique thing that I'd like to bring up here is that we recommended, staff recommended to the hearings examiner that this special use permit have a 10-year lifespan. Typically, special use permits, you're looking at 2 to 4 years, but given the unique funding and kind of the staggered way it comes in, they get the funding every 4 years. So it comes in, they get this funding, they'll be applying for grants at the same time. They just really didn't think that a typical 4 or even 6 year, that's what we originally offered up. Hey, what about 6 years? But as we dug deeper into the funding, it just seemed like 10 years was more reasonable. It allows them more assuredness to go for grant funding, because we just spoke about shovel-ready projects, as it were. As the school district is hunting for funding, those funding agencies, primarily the state, I assume, want to know, is your project ready? And in this case, they will have the largest land use action sealed up for 10 years, but it's with the caveat that each phase would come in for site plan review, which is our primarily internal review. And that's just basically to ensure they're complying with things like stormwater requirements as they're updated over time. Maybe we'll update landscaping requirements, those sorts of things. But this gives them kind of a blueprint to move forward and, be able to telegraph to people exactly what they want to build, when they're going to build it, and generally speaking, what it's going to look like and where it's going to be. So to that end, we're recommending that this be placed on the next meeting for your consent agenda, and that you essentially approve a resolution that agrees with the hearings examiner's findings and conditions that are contained in the staff report.
All right. Thanks, Jason. Donna, do we have any public comment?
No, we don't, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Do we have a motion?
I move to concur with the hearing examiner's recommendation for approval of the project and place approval of resolution number 1191-0221 on the council's action agenda for April 6, 2021. And that's with a big, huge hurrah.
It is. Can I add one caveat?
Yeah,
I forgot one thing. I left, and apologies, I've apparently worked for the city too long. I left several references to a commission, whatever that is, or I don't even know what a commission is anymore. So I'll need to change that before it goes to final action, because a commission does not exist in this community any longer. So I apologize for that. In the final packet, it'll all be correct.
Second.
All right. Thanks, Eric. All right. Do we have any council members have any questions or comments for Jason?
No questions. I'm excited the schools are going back to these kind of vocational schools. They had them when I was a kid. We had auto shop and home ec and metal, and I think this is going to be a huge benefit to our kids in the city, well, at the county.
And to echo that, beyond that, it's so much more than just a single class. These are really strong programs that are part of the overall academy's approach the school district has taken. The non-high dollars are being put to good use. And I know that they had to do some real thinking about how they could fit it onto the campus because of the considerations with the flight zone and the proximity to the airport. So I'm really pleased to see there was a way to get to yes on this, and that there's opportunity to continue to expand in response to the students' needs on the campus. So agreed, enthusiastic yes.
My comments would be that I would expect that we will probably need to fast track this sooner than even the 10-year phase. And my expectation is that we're going to see a lot of dollars flow to support this exact model, specifically over the next 4 years. And our community is ripe to take a hold of those workforce dollars and put them to good use in this space. So Jason, I'm just saying, you might want to, get ready for a super fast track on this.
We're ready.
All right. Anyone else? I think it's really important to back up what Eric and Deidre were saying, that, vocational skills. I guess what I'm trying to say is college isn't for everybody. And to teach these kids a skill and maybe keep them in our area would be terrific. So with that, we have a motion and a second to concur with the hearings examiner recommendations for approval of the project and place approval of resolution number 1191-0221 on the council's action agenda for April 6, 2021. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right, motion passes. All right, so now, last business item is a resolution to update the fee schedule. Finance Director Aaron B. Miller has more information.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. Good evening, Deputy Mayor and council members. The item before you will update the city's fee schedule for 2021. This updates the fee schedule that council just approved back in January this year. The driving force behind this change is the interlocal agreement between the fire department and the city included a provision where the city would start to invoice and collect on behalf of the fire department for fees for their services. As we were going through this work, we realized that we need to have a little bit more time so that we can put a process together that works for both the fire department and for the city. And so as a result, we're going to go back to a flat fee to Central Mason Fire and Rescue, Fire and EMS. And what we are doing is adding to our fee schedule some of those fire fees so that we can invoice them. The difference would be, rather than sending them to the fire department, they would stay with the city for 2021. The intent is that beginning 2022, we have the invoicing and routing process of the monies to Central Mason Fire and EMS under control, and we're ready to start rolling then. So this is a 1-year adjustment, and it would go back and make those fees active retroactively to January 1st, 2021. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Aaron. Donna, do we have public comment here?
No, we don't, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion?
I move that resolution number 1192-0321 be forwarded to the April 6, 2021 City Council meeting and be placed on the action agenda for further consideration.
Okay. It just, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right. Now, do council members have questions or comments for Mr. B. Miller? All right, seeing none. We have a motion and a second that resolution number 1192-0321 be forwarded to the April 6, 2021 City Council meeting and be placed on the action agenda for further consideration. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Aaron. All right. First item on the action agenda is a resolution for mutual aid agreement. Public Works Director Jay Harris has the details.
Good evening again, Mayor, Council, Jay Harris, your Public Works Director. At your last meeting, I presented a resolution for Warren. Warren is a network of state, public and private wastewater agencies in the state that can respond to each other's emergencies. So when you sign up for this program, you call another agency or call Warren, and you can get some rapid mutual aid response if you're having issues with your wastewater or water systems. And then the same if Olympia or Tumwater or somebody else called, we could send people over to that other agency. We don't have to respond. We're not required to respond if we don't have the resources. If we do respond, we get our costs reimbursed by the agency that we responded to. So in short, Warren will increase our available resources if we have a large emergency in our water or wastewater systems. And then we'll also be able to help out our neighbors. And there is no changes to this briefing since the last meeting. That's the end of my presentation.
All right. Has anyone signed up for public comment, Donna?
No, there isn't anyone, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you much. Do we have a motion?
I move to adopt resolution number 1187-0121, a resolution approving the Walworn Mutual Aid Agreement, authorizing the city manager to execute said agreement, and authorizing the city manager and/or designees to request assistance or respond to requests for assistance as needed per the agreement.
Second.
I have a second. Thank you, Eric. Donna, will you give us a reading of the resolution number 1187-0121?
Yes. Resolution number 1187-0121, a resolution of the Council of the City of Shelton, Washington, approving the Washington State Water Wastewater Agency Response, which is abbreviated WARN, Mutual Aid Agreement.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any council members to ask, have any questions or comments for Jay?
Just appreciate the planning
You're
and
welcome.
thoughtful about emergency support and for our community and for our neighbors.
Megan? All right, I don't see any more hands, so we have a motion and a second to adopt resolution number 1187-0121, a resolution approving the Walworn Mutual Aid Agreement, authorizing the city manager to execute said agreement, and authorizing the city manager and/or designees to request assistance or respond to requests for assistance as needed per the agreement. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Jay. Last action item is a resolution for the final acceptance of the 2020 residential paving project. Senior Associate Engineer Colby Glasser has more information for us.
Good morning, Mayor and or evening, Mayor and council members. I've been here a while. I gave a presentation at the last meeting regarding 2020 residential paving. There have been no changes since our last meeting. I'm available if there's any questions.
All right. Do we have a motion? Are we motioning?
I move to adopt resolution number 1188-0221, a resolution accepting the 2020 residential paving project.
All right, thank you. Any council members have questions for Colby?
Mr. Mayor, did someone second that?
Oh, I didn't hear a second.
Second.
All right,
Okay.
there's one.
And also, Mr. Mayor, there's no public comment on this item either.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Kathy, you have a comment?
No,
I see a
I'm
hand.
just got my hand up here. Nope, no
Oh.
comment.
Okay. All right, so how about we'll ask for a reading of the resolution number 1188-0221.
Resolution number 1188-0221, A resolution of the Council of the City of Shelton, Washington, accepting the 2020 residential paving project as final and complete.
We have a motion and a second to adopt resolution number 1188-0221, a resolution accepting the 2020 residential paving project as final and complete. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
And Public Works is going to have a busy spring and summer.
Yes, they are.
Lots of projects. Exciting.
Okay, Jeff, will you give us your city manager report?
Oh, you're on mute.
You're on
Jeff.
mute, sir.
Gotcha. You're
Nobody
normally
wants-
the mute police.
Nobody
I'm
wants
there
to
all
listen
day
to me
too.
anyway. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Deputy Mayor, members of council. First thing I want to mention is if we do have to call in mutual aid under wall warn, it's got to be through a bat signal. There's just no other way to do it. So we'll have Public Works work on that project too. Couple of things I wanted to mention. First is I'm happy to let council and the community know that our very first annual report, the first one in the city of Shelton's history, is about ready to be published. I've got a draft on my desk now, and we're going through it. This is something we want to do every year so that we can report what we've done the previous year to our community and make sure that they're well informed. So the way we've structured it is based around the council's strategic goals that you adopted several years ago. And it looks pretty good, and we're just about finished that up, so we'll have that published. It'll just be available in electronic form. We're not going to print that on paper, but want to be able to provide that to our residents and to the council here fairly quickly. Secondly, we talked a little bit earlier about the American Recovery Act and the dollars that are available to our community and how we might be able to leverage those. As I mentioned, tomorrow, the leadership team and I will sit down and talk about options available to use that funding, try to prioritize those, and then make recommendations for council consideration, and see where we can get, like I said, the most bang for the buck, where we can leverage the most good for the overall community. And then lastly, on our looking ahead for our next meeting, we do have a couple of weeks. This is one of those time periods within the year where there's a 3-week separation between council meetings. So our next one on April 6th, we'll be considering a couple things. One is a code consolidation for some language in the utility tax portion of the municipal code, just to make it a little less confusing for anybody that does take a look at that, and a little bit easier for us to administer. Some acquisitions of park property that council had considered in 2019, but we waited for another until we can consider 2 pieces of property that are adjacent to each other at the same time. And then a resolution for a equipment purchase for a street sweeper that is part of our stormwater program, and will help keep the streets clean when we have to put down all the sand like we do for ice events that we've recently had. That's pretty much all that's on the looking ahead. One thing I do want to highlight there is about to launch our new app, our Civic Engagement App for smartphones. So we'll have a demonstration of that, hopefully at the April 6th meeting, if not the one on April 20th. And we're also getting ready to launch our electronic meter use, where you can see how much water you're using at any given time and pay your bills online. I know that's been a big push for council for a long time. So we want to make that as easy as possible for citizens to interact with us. And with that, that's all I have. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
One. Well, Jeff, I'd like to ask you about, you said this is our first ever annual report.
Yep.
Yeah.
First one that we can find, and just to give you a little preview, like I said, we focused it around our council strategic goals. So it also highlights things like the lean process that our permitting folks went through, our first business plan that council adopted earlier this year, and a few other things, the things that we're doing to increase connectivity and transparency with the community. OpenGov for our budgeting tool, and the town hall, all those types of things, and just making sure that we talk to and communicate with the people of Shelton and interested businesses that want to invest here.
I really like that. It's, I think there's still a lot of people out there that don't think we're transparent, and anything we can do to help that is terrific. Okay, anything else for Jeff tonight? Thank you, Jeff. Any new items from the council for discussion? All right. Then our next meeting will be Tuesday, April 6th, 2021 at 6 o'clock. This meeting is adjourned at 7:01. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.